Right, good morning, everybody. Sorry about the delay on sound here. 12 minutes up on the clock, starting at period 1 of the second game for this weekend against the Kansas City Scouts. Des Moines going to be the first to bring it out of neutral zone. 77 with a pass off to 87. Offsides called by the Scouts. Yohe on the drop this time for Iowa. Lost it. Des Moines going to clear it out of neutral zone again after that offsides reset. Yohe working with now McDaniel brought it off to pass with it this time. Sliding attempt made by Benz. Made for a nice save. Kicked it out of the zone. Picked up by the Scouts inside of their own territory. Hildebrandt gets it in. Scouts send it right back out. Van Tilburg on the far side. Kicks it back into the zone. Marin with it. Sends it back to his D-man. Goldie clears it out of the zone. Can't keep it inside the blue line. Scouts with it on a breakaway. Work his way up. Shot no good. Good attempt. Marin against the far side. Getting some help also again with Van Tilburg. Scouts again with another shot that goes wide. Welch with it, tries to sweep, gets a little too far out in front of him, can't maintain possession of it. Hildebrandt to pick it up, dumps it in, then heads back to the bench. Scouts chase after it in their own zone, bring it around backside of their net, work it up along the boards. Yohe tried to slow him down, able to get at that loose puck that was stripped off. Pass sent over to Smith, and Smith putting the first goal in. Des Moines leading 1-0, 9:20 left up on the clock. That goal being from Smith, assist from Yohe. Yohe taking center. Smith again. Smith this time over to Follis. Follis loses control of it. Has to chase it down behind the net. Smith recovers on the far side, sends it back to Carson. Carson back over to Smith. Smith trying to lose his tail. Yohe's posting up, looking for an open shot. Scouts end up coming away with it. Dump it out of the zone. They're going to send it in deep. Brown's going to let that one go for icing. Looks like Marin's on the drop. Lost that one. Scout's going to take it over on the far wall. McDaniel and Dupass both there trying to slow it down, get it recovered. Dupass keeps it in. Dupass working his way up the middle. Shot to Marin. Marin with a nice shot attempt. That one's going to be recovered by the goaltender for the Scouts. Marin again at the drop. This one is going to win. Van Tilburg with the shot, going to go just wide, hits the bottom bar of the back end of the goal. Pass and Marin both fighting for it in the corner up along the spectator boards here. Scouts coming out of the zone with it. Taking it in and out quick. Van Tilburg loses his feet. Shot going to be deflected off of Brown's pads there. McDaniel with it. In and out of neutral, looking to pass it off to somebody. Made connection with the pass right there in front. It just came off of his stick and couldn't go the direction he wanted to. Iowa resets. Another shot going to go wide. Yohe battling it in the corner. Van Tilburg trying to slow down. The Scouts along the wall lost his stick. Changed his hands a few times right here in neutral zone. Yohe going to be the one to bring it back into the zone. Coming out of the corner, inches his way up, loses his skates right in front. Still a battle right there in front of the net. Reds throwing their hands up like they got it. Ref says not quite. .7:17 remaining in period 1. Not quite halfway through this first period. Yohe going to be on drop for Des Moines this time. Then Tilburg getting his stick back. Puck is down. Goldie with it, working his way up. Backhanded attempt. Missed by Des Moines 20. Hildebrandt over there on the far side. Kind of loses his balance a little bit. Collision right here in front. No call on that one. Puck stays in play. Scouts working to keep it in the zone. Pembroke going to pick it up. Around the world behind the net. Scouts pick it off of his stick. Pembroke battles for it back. Getting some help from... Looks like Welch over on that far side. Yohe with it in the corner. Also loses his feet on the boards. Trips up a Scouts player a little bit and battling for it. Follis with it on a breakaway. One out in front, trying to work around. Takes a shot. Puck stays in play. Iowa recovers it, working hard to get it centered back. Back check there, no call. Smith gets it off to Follis. Follis taking it around, dumps it back to Marin. Marin getting around one. Marin with another shot. That one bounces off the arm pads. Marin again picks it up. Tries to deke it around. Took a little too much time. Got it picked off of his stick. Scouts to recover it into this neutral. Into Des Moines zone. Follis breaks it up. Gets it off to Smith. Smith works around one and another one. Another shot attempt. This one by Yohe. Saw Yohe, McDaniel to pass, all of them in there with action on the puck. Yohe going to be the one battling for it off of the wall. McDaniel getting in the mix. Loose puck comes out. Scouts to recover. Pressure from McDaniel. To pass behind the net there. Yohe also coming in to assist. McDaniel finds it, tries to get it sent up front. Bentz keeps it in the zone. McDaniel with the shot attempt, can't quite get it up to the crease. Pembroke on the far side keeps it in the zone. Hits it off the boards in the back. McDaniel will meet it at the wall. Scouts recover it at their blue line, bring it out into neutral. Bentz to recover at Des Moines' blue line. Cross ice pass over to McDaniel on the far side. Scouts clear it out. Marin with a block there. Hildebrandt stays on the puck. We're going to see a delayed penalty coming up. And with the whistle there, once Des Moines hits it, we're going to get a tripping call. Tripping going to go against Des Moines' number 20. 3:45 left in period 1. Minute and a half power play for Kansas City coming up. Follis this time on the drop. Follis going to win this one. Buzzer sounded by the timekeeping crew as they're trying to get the penalty up on the clock and didn't actually start the clock for that last drop. Shot count up on the board so far is Des Moines 9, Scouts 2. Second drop. Down shot attempt goes wide. Des Moines clears it out into neutral. Maintain that forward possession of it, but Follis going to have to chase it down. Met with a scout in the corner. Passes it off to Smith. Goldie loses his feet at the blue line. Keeps it in. Smith with a shot. High and wide. Scouts recover along the boards. Scouts dump it into neutral. Des Moines not letting him have it for very far. McDaniel with it now as it's in the zone. Trying to bring it off the boards. He's got pressure on him the entire time. Scouts kick it into the corner. McDaniel there to pass there to pick it up. McDaniel to find it on the backside of the net. Again with pressure. Gets it off to pass with a backhanded shot. Was looking for McDaniel to be back there again. Wasn't. Scouts are going to recover behind their net. Pass it around. Long spectator boards. They bring it into neutral. Cross ice pass intended for their fellow man. DePass stops it short. Going to bring it back into the zone. Looking to get it around. Try to pass it off to McDaniel out in front of the crease. Bentz keeps it in. Bentz with the shot. Goes way wide. Scouts find it on the far corner. Yohe coming in. Daniel sweeps it back. This one's going to get cleared out by the Scouts. And Sales past Brown over there. Icing call. Sorry. Des Moines advantage. Minute 56 left up on the clock. We are back to full strength. Yohe on the drop. Wins that one for Des Moines. Battle in the corners. Scouts sweep it back to the blue line. Pembroke keeping it in. Scouts clear it out from in front of their own net. Pembroke not in a position to pick it up. Scouts with a shot. PJ deflected that one, but had his D-man pick it up for him and take it out of the zone. Des Moines player got sandwiched there in between double pressure on far side. Bentz loses his feet right out in front. Another save by Brown. Puck continues to stay in play. Follis bringing it in and out of neutral. Dumps it in. Heads back to the bench. Scouts on the far corner are going to pick it up. Marin coming in to meet him in the corner. Another back check from the Scouts. No call. Welch with a shot attempt deflected short by the Scouts. Attempt to clear it out. And Baker was there to keep it in. Wasn't able to do so as Scouts bring it back into Des Moines territory. Des Moines pushes it into neutral. Scouts trying to pass it around. Can't quite break that blue line barrier again. Scouts come in and out with it. He's going to be met by Baker and Marin. Tries to get a corner shot off. That one's going to be stopped. Yohe on point, lost that one for Des Moines. Des Moines making him work for it, up to McDaniel. McDaniel sent over to Yohe. Yohe with the shot. That one missed. Des Moines continuing to play on it. Big trip. Big trip, no call, but we're going to hear the buzzer in for the conclusion of period 1. Des Moines leading the Scouts 1-0. All right, we saw Yohe on the drop for that one. Daniel working hard in the corner, getting some backup from, looks like Yohe there. Pembroke trying to slow him down. Scout's going to take it all the way up. PJ not letting that one in. Marin on the drop this time. Another save by Brown. Scouts with another shot attempt. This one stopped short by Des Moines. Des Moines clears it out in neutral. Marin with forward progress on it. Passes over to Fallis. Fallis gets it knocked off of his stick. Des Moines defense kicks it back up to Marin. Can't quite get a stick on it. And Tilburg trying to get it off to Smith. Can't quite connect in neutral. Scout's going to come away with it. Makes a shot. That one deflected by Brown. Fallis trying to reset in neutral. It's got pressure in front and behind. Sends it out. Stopped short in the skates of a Kansas City player. Kansas to recover. Brings it around one, but Baker slows him down. Still inch their way up. to Brown. He's going to cover it. Yohi on the drop. But Des Moines going to be the first one to break it out into neutral. Van Tilburg trying to get there. Scouts are going to send it back into neutral zone. Yohi battling on the wall for it. It's got pressure from behind. Able to get it off to Hildebrandt. Hildebrandt to Welch. Welch with a shot. An offsides whistle. Marin back on the drop. Loses that one. Marin cross-ice pass intended for McDaniel. Benz gets it into neutral, recovered by DePass. DePass trying to work on it. It's got pressure on him, able to dump it deep into the corner. Scouts going to be the only ones back there to retrieve it. McDaniel trying to slow him down. DePass also on the wall. Both trying to dig it out. Pembroke waiting on the blue. DePass going to find it over on the far side, getting some help from Marin. Tips it backwards. Marin trying to stay in it. Marin able to sweep it down, trying to work off of one knee back there. McDaniel sends it back to Marin, missed it. DePass on the far side. Puck clears out of Des Moines, out of Kansas's goal. Fallis coming off of the bench. Kansas viewers a little upset as Fallis came off right out of the bench. They're saying it put him off sides and there was no call. Fallis to Yogi, and Yogi with a shot attempt there. Pembroke works around one, gets it back in. Scouts waiting for it. Scouts cleared out of neutral. And Scouts blown for offsides. This is a team that we played twice last weekend, for those that didn't get to watch, and so there's maybe a little bit of emotion already coming into this very early morning game. Puck is down again, clock continuing to go. Just at 7:35 left in period 2. So far, no scoring from either team in this second period. We're going to drop it on center this time. Marin on the drop. Scouts keeping it in the zone. Marin with it now is going to dump it out. Try to get it to Hildebrandt there. Scouts going to find it in their zone, sweep it back up into neutral. continue forward progression, even though he had pressure from Des Moines on him. Still trying to inch their way closer. Welch was on it, trying to help get it out. Marin loses his stick. Have a few calls. DePass went down. Had a hard time getting up there. Retaliated against Kansas City. Looks like DePass and the Kansas City player both going to see the box sharing that penalty that happened after the whistle. Clock runner just likes to hit the horn button, I think. Des Moines subbing out players now. Refs having a little conflab over there of what they're actually calling. 5-on-5 gameplay still. Four on four. Both teams sending somebody back to the bench. All right, I think we're actually going to drop the peck now. 6:48 left in period 2. Follis on it. He's going to win that faceoff over on the far side. Baker to Smith. Smith dumps it into neutral, making the scouts race for it. Carson with those long legs chasing it down. Going to meet him in the corner. Smith also with it on the far side. Smith with a soft-handed pass. Couldn't quite get to his man. Des Moines keeps it in. Scott's going to find it, bring it around the backside of their net. Follis, the only one there, strips it right off of their stick, though. It's got double pressure, gets it kicked back. Pass right in front intended, but Van Tilburg just inside the blue line with this shot. That one was a glove save. It's going to be a little high, but recovered nevertheless by Kansas City's tender. There's no penalty time up on the clock, so I'm not sure if they're running the full minute and a half or longer. Yohe now on drop for Des Moines. Gonna win that one. Gets it back to his D-man inside the blue. Kicks it into the corner. Yohe there with double pressure, trying to sweep it away from the boards, getting some assistance from Hildebrandt. Hildebrandt kicks it back along the boards. Goldie finds it. Here's the long buzzer for the game playing on the sheet right behind us. So if you pick that up, not for our game. Yohe and Hildebrandt off the wall. Hildebrandt goes down. Yohe stays with it. Pembroke keeping it in, tosses it back into the mix. Hildebrandt finds it. Kicks it all the way to the far side. Goldie with the shot on it. Des Moines keeping it in the zone. Up to Marin. Marin another pass to Pembroke. Pembroke with the shot. That one also deflected. Marin is down along the backboards, having a hard time getting up. Finally, we get a whistle. He's taking his time getting up there. Marin slow to get up after he was piled on and sat there for a while. Gets some assistance back over to the bench. We'll see later what's going on with him. And clock's at 4:39, but Des Moines back to full strength, where Kansas City is only with 4 players, so not sure if in the process of all of that they called a penalty and it just was missed in communication with the other activity going on with Marin getting up. Yohe on the drop. Yohe working it in the corner. Gets it over to Smith. Smith continues it around. Fallis to retrieve. Fallis back to Yohe. Yohe up the middle to Fallis. Fallis with a shot attempt. That one missed. Smith trying to get a stick down there in front of the net to pick up the rebound as there's a nice open hole to do so. Bentz with it. Bentz shot goes wide behind the net. Scouts to recover it in the corner here. Yohe and Baker working together. Baker sends it up the middle. Scouts almost backhand it into their own goal. Fallis to Yohe. Yohe back to Bentz. Bentz stops it. Bentz with the shot. Deflected short by Kansas City. Kansas City hits it into the back of their own player, but they're going to break it out neutral. Bentz to recover it. Brings it back into neutral. Kansas City inside of their own zone. Dumps it far side along the boards. Des Moines going to retrieve it. Bring it in to pass. Gets it off to Smith. Smith to Fallis. Fallis with another shot that is deflected. Baker looks like he was down along the wall, trying to clear it out. We just saw a high puck come up. Des Moines going to pick it up backside of their own net, work it around one. Bentz with it. Pass intended for Hildebrandt. Can't keep with it. McDaniel comes up from behind. Shot goes wide there. Goaltender unable to glove save that one. Des Moines keeping it in the zone. Scouts again trying to clear it out. This one going to make it past the blue. Bentz working hard on the far side, trying to slow that man down. Working to get it there. Loses his stick, and the other player lets it go, but we're going to see delay penalty coming up against Des Moines for a tripping, I'm sure, against Bentz. Tripping on Bentz, going to be a minute and a half, 2:14 left up on the clock, so we'll get to be back at full strength if all goes well before the end of the period. Marin came out, too many men then on the ice. He headed back in, so it looks like even with whatever went on, time to catch his breath and able to reset. Scouts with it, pass right at the middle. That one deflected away by PJ. Scouts keeping it in the zone. Out of the corner, Goldie there. Trying to clear it out with a whiff shot attempt. Kansas City can't stay with it. Des Moines going to pick it up. Smith. Smith to Yohe. Yohe high. Smith recovers. Back to Yohe on the far side. Picks it off the wall. Sends it back to Smith. Tries to work around his man. Loses his stick, so he's playing soccer. Pembroke with it. Tries to center it out. No man posted up. Scouts can recover it. Bring it out of their zone. Pembroke on the far side. Trying to get to it before the single Scouts player can. Continues to battle it out. Fallis now in the mix. 20 seconds left on the penalty kill. Kansas City shot attempt out in front and goes wide into the corner. Des Moines clears it out. Fallis on it. Des Moines back to full strength now as Baker enters the ice. A couple other players in. Marin back on. Baker with a sweep. Hildebrandt trying to come in and keep it in, but it's just going to pass in a neutral just enough for an offsides call. We'll reset. Yohe on the drop there. Pembroke clears it out of Des Moines zone. Picked up by Hildebrandt. Looked like with a shot. Out and went wide to pass in the corner. Yohe, Hildebrandt with it. Tries to spin it around. Can he get it? That one is going to hit face plate and maintains collection. Into period 2, still a 1-0 game. No scores made by either team in that period. See you back in just a few. All right, final period. 12 minutes up on the board. Marin back in the mix. Going to take the drop. Face off won by Des Moines, but Kansas City going to find the loose puck, brings it into Des Moines zone. Shot way high in the corner. Des Moines collects on it, gets it back out in neutral. Kansas City waiting for it, brings it back in. Marin again on the drop. Call this one a lost face-off. A lot of back and forth. Loose puck comes out. Kansas City try to connect with it. Took a couple attempts there. Floss clears it out. Kansas City going to bring it in. Another offsides call. When the Scouts are offside, man, they are offsides. This was something that we saw a lot last weekend as well. So, another reset, this time 88. Yohe on the drop. McDaniel to Yohe. Yohe trying to work around pressure. McDaniel again clears it out of the corner to Yohe. Yohe trying to maintain control of it. Recollects, works around to McDaniel behind. And as we're about a minute 10 in the first period, Des Moines to put a new one up. This one's going to go to number 9 with his assist coming from Baker. McDaniel with it all by himself, takes a shot. That one's going to be a save by Kansas City. I would have sub out their lines, 87 on drop. Tilburg loses his stick again. Kansas City, runaway train, gets it just inside the blue, loses the puck, leaves it behind, able to recollect it. Wide shot attempt, picked up in the corner. Pembroke giving it a little bit of a nudge. Merrigan, backside of the net. Working hard. Kansas City tries to set it up in front. Hildebrandt with it. Able to get just that last little inch of stretch in his arm to keep the puck. Dumps it into the zone. Collected by Kansas City. Kansas City staying with it. Dumps it mid and center. That one makes it all the way up to PJ. PJ actually had to lift his leg to find it there.
Let's go, Bucs!
88 on it, wins it for Des Moines. Baker over there in the far corner able to dump it. Yohe loses it into the boards. Casey's shot attempt stopped short by Goldie. Smith with it. Smith with a nice breakaway, just couldn't quite get it around. Yohe was there on the drop. Scouts cleared out. Yohe working hard to dump it back in. Goldie trying to pick it off. Scouts bringing it into Des Moines zone. Shot attempt going to go right in front of PJ, but keeps going outside of. Another shot attempt wide. Baker's looking for a penalty as the other player had grabbed his stick and took him down. Little skirmish with Baker going on over there. So he's getting frustrated. He changes out off of the line. Des Moines finally brings the puck into Scout's side. He was all by himself, though. Scouts take it back, bring it in and out of neutral, working their way up. Stripped off of his stick by Bentz. Bentz hands it up to McDaniel. McDaniel with his soft pass off to DePass. DePass trying to work around one. DePass intended to get it to McDaniel. Couldn't quite connect. Marin and Pembroke looks like on the other side there. Merritt again with it. Intended to McDaniel. Couldn't quite connect as it went up too high. Lost it in his sweater. Ben's intended up to McDaniel, stopped at the blue line by Kansas City. Marion going to pick it up in spectator's corner. Brings it around, looking for somebody. Dumps it deep to McDaniel. McDaniel brings it into the neutral, passes it to DePass. DePass with a shot, stopped short out in front. Kansas City to recover. Yohe in the mix, trying to break it off with a stick. Vince trying to shake him down, able to recover the puck. Elbow to Yohe right there along the boards. Single scout player, another one comes in to help him out, but he's surrounded by red. Yohe and Vince both trying to help each other out, just end up tangling each other up. Scout's trying to collect, get a shot off, loses his skates, misses it. Pass up to Hildebrandt. Hildebrandt trying to pass it back to Pembroke. Pembroke staying with it along the wall. Casey clears it off and away from the wall. Icing call will have us reset in front of Kansas City's net. Des Moines advantage, 6.5 minutes left to play. Iowa up 2-0 over Kansas City. Marin on the drop. Sweeps it back from behind the net, trying to peel it off of the wall. Marin there's got 2 men that he's trying to work off. Able to come away with it. Marin swept it to, it looks like Smith. But goal is going to be 5. Follis from Smith. And just before that, Marin. Marin back on the drop. 6:08 left. And Des Moines leading 3-0. Kansas City trying to hit it in the corner off of the post. Puck clears out of Des Moines zone. They're going to kick it far enough back. This time icing against Des Moines. Yohe on the drop there. Baker gonna pick it up in the corner, sweeps it back. Yohe can't quite connect with it. Yohe again, backhanded pass, clears it out of the zone. Des Moines gonna get out in front. McDaniel to DePass. DePass gets a little out in front of himself, brings it back to recollect, trying to shake off his tail. Pushed up against the boards, goes down and trying to get up. Gets another player down. Feet locked up. Right from behind the net. Kansas City to recover. Clears it out of the zone. Stopped by Baker. Baker to McDaniel. McDaniel in the zone. Trip. No call. Looks like we're going to get a delayed penalty on that one. And there's the whistle. Both teams subs out line at 4:49 left on the clock. Iowa on a 1.5-minute power play. Marin will take the drop. Van Tilburg keeping it in the zone, dumps it deep, far corner. And Pembroke keeping it on the far side, just under Kansas City's bench. Follis with it. Follis to Pembroke. Pembroke trying to work around. It's like his upper body is going faster than his lower body. Stays with it though, dumps it out. Follis to Marin. Marin to Smith. Smith trying to get it back to Marin. Marin's going to pick it up in the corner, sweep around the backside of the net. Kansas City with it. He's got a lot of pressure on him. 45 seconds left of the power play for Des Moines. Puck sweeps around far side. A lot of white over there. They're going to bring it out of the zone. Fumble some of the control right at the red line. Tries to pass it up. Marin there to slow him down. Marin and Kansas City got a little tangled up with each other, trying to free themselves of each other's equipment. Kansas City continued to inch it up to Des Moines. PJ's going to find it, cover it. Ref went all the way back to Kansas City's net to replace the post. 15 seconds left of Des Moines' power play. Yohe on it. Des Moines to bring it out of their zone. Work their way up. Kansas City going to respond to it first. Backside of their goal line. Pass it up into neutral by Kansas City. Forward progression maintained. Fumbles it. Going to recover it in the spectator's corner. Hildebrandt on it. Hildebrandt sends it over to Welch. Welch going to pick it up. Both teams back to full strength now. Kansas City bringing it out of the zone. Goldie out in front of them. Hildebrandt behind. Hildebrandt going to pick it up. Tries to sweep it out, deflected off of Kansas City. Fighting hard against the boards. Gets it to Yohe. Yohe cross-ice pass picked up by McDaniel. McDaniel out in front. McDaniel can't sweep that one in. Minute and a half penalty being assessed to Kansas City, putting Des Moines back on a power play. Marin on the face-off there. Scouts to bring it in and out of neutral. Van Tilburg tips it back to Marin. But now Dupass going into the penalty box for Des Moines. Asking for confirmation off of the bench. Didn't see any hand gestures on what happened there. So now we're even strength 4-4. Marin on the drop again for this one. Puck on the far side, and it's a race. Kansas City going to meet it. Brings it fast around the backside of their own net. In neutral, Marin tried to slow him down. Is able to shake the puck off. Van Tilburg also in the mix. Sweeps it out of the zone. Kansas City to respond. Kansas City dumps it into Des Moines zone. Van Tilburg going to pick it up, backside of the net, sweeps it up to Marin, retrieved. Marin, long pass, stopped short by Kansas City and neutral. Van Tilburg hard off the wall, tried to stop at the line. Smith in with it at the red line. Smith with it, works around one. Shot. That one goes just outside. Iowa now on a penalty kill for 10 seconds. Fala sweeps it off to a man at the door. Yohe's down. Didn't quite see what happened there. Kansas City with it, 30 seconds left of the game. Yohe's up, heads over to the wall. Shaking his head yes, looks like he's okay. Just gonna ride out the rest of the game. Marin chasing down this Kansas City player. Gonna meet him in the corner. Loses his stick. Sweeps it back. Hildebrandt and Bentz both fighting for it off of the wall. 9 seconds left. Kansas City clears it out in front of their net. Bentz with it in neutral. He looks to reset. Puck dumps deep along the boards. But that is the final buzzer. Des Moines taking a win over Kansas City Scouts 3-0, which is how both games ended last week against the same opponent. All right, we will be back later on today at 5:30. And we will see you then.